Today, we are going to talk about cell communication and how disease affects cell communication. Specifically, we will be focusing on the disease alopecia. Alopecia is a peculiar form of hair loss that usually affects the scalp but can occur on any hair-bearing skin. The disease is an autoimmune disorder in which hair follicles are damaged by a misguided immune system. Cells are the basic unit of life and are necessary for processes to occur in our bodies. Cells must communicate in order for processes to function. Shown here is a properly functioning cell completing direct cell-to-cell communication. This cell is a macrophage, a type of white blood cell found in our immune systems. The membrane of the cell is covered with protein channels. When the cell senses a foreign invader, such as a bacteria or virus, they ingest it and break it down. The cell then displays a piece of the invader on the outside of their membrane, which is known as an antigen. An antigen is used as a message for another cell, like a T cell, to come along and take it in through a T cell receptor. Based on the antigen, the T cell will decide whether to initiate an immune response, such as spreading the message and building antibodies, or B cells, or they may do nothing at all. Overall, this is just one example of a properly functioning cell completing direct communication. As mentioned earlier, proper cell communication is vital for cell processes to function. Alopecia is an autoimmune disorder in which hair follicles are damaged by a misguided immune system, leading to the partial or complete absence of hair from areas of the body where it normally grows. A person who has alopecia has cells that cannot properly communicate, but rather, the cells go through a process known as cell-mediated immune response. Again, a macrophage is presented, but now contains an infected cell, which is the alopecia. As completed in a functioning cell communication, the macrophage ingests and breaks down the cell. However, this is the infected cell, so an infected antigen is displayed. People with alopecia lack properly functioning T cells, so the disease is unable to be recognized and attacked. Therefore, it is spread with cytokines and multiplied through mitosis. Cytokines are small cell signalers that aid in communication. Finally, what is known as a killer T cell attacks the infected cell and kills it.
In an androgen receptor signaling pathway, testosterone works with 5A reductase to bind to the receptors, creating dimers. The dimers enter the nucleus and bind to DNA. Genes were targeted and the DNA went through transcription, which converted it into proteins, creating a biological response. The phases of signal transduction pathways include reception, transduction, and response. Reception is when a protein at the cell surface detects chemical signals. A signal is detected when the ligand binds to receptor protein on the surface or inside the cell. When the signaling molecule binds the receptor, it changes the receptor protein in some way. Each relay molecule in the signal transduction pathway changes the next molecule in the following pathway. The response is communicated through neighboring cells. Alopecia is the loss of hair in patches. Alopecia is an error in an autosomal chromosome, making it equally effective on men and women. Alopecia is a recessive gene. Alopecia is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune means that the body's immune system attacks the body. Alopecia is also genetic, which means the gene is located on the short arm of chromosome 8. The ULBP3 gene is not normally found in hair follicles, but is found in abundance in hair follicles affected by alopecia. ULBP3 attacks immune cells called cytotoxic cells. If there is an infection present in the body, these cells will help fight them off or destroy damaged cells. If there is no infection or damage, they will attack healthy tissue in the hair follicles. Symptoms of alopecia include: the problem often begins with one or more coin-sized, round, smooth, bare patches where hair once was. Hair loss occurs mostly on the scalp, but it can involve eyebrows, eyelashes, beards, any hair-bearing site. Patches vary in size. Exclamation mark hairs Often a few short hairs occur in or at the edges of bare spots. These hairs get narrow at the bottom like an exclamation point. Widespread hair loss. With time, some patients go bald, some lose all their hair on their body. This is not common. Also uncommon is a band of hair loss at the back of the scalp. Alopecia also affects nails, making them have dense, white spots and roughness. Alopecia can affect fingernails, toenails, nails can even have tiny pinpoint dents. They can also have white spots, lines, lose their shine.
Here are the sources we used in creating this video. We hope you enjoyed.